thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your interest. My name is Sharon Heyward, and today I'm going to be talking to you about photography and what it means to me. A little background on myself. I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey. I've been down in Petersburg a little over 8 years now. I was born and raised in Newark. And my photography journey began in New Jersey and continued down here when I moved down here. Once you get bitten by that pick-taking bug, you're hooked. You never stop. Okay. Just a quick question. Just taking a poll. Who has a cell phone with them today?
Yep.
Anybody? Okay. All right. It's not a problem. I'm just taking a quick poll. We'll get back to that later. But right now, what I want to talk about is what photography is to people. It's a great way to document life experiences, birthdays, weddings, graduations, fun family get-togethers, like snapping a picture of Uncle Leroy acting up at the cookout. Who doesn't love a good shot like that? We can laugh about it for a long time. But everyone is different, right? Photography can mean different things to different people. We all have our own unique perspectives. It's like if two different people buy the same guitar and play the same song, that music is not going to sound the same coming from both people. So if you see what you shoot, someone else may see it differently. And these days, especially with social media platforms, everybody is taking a picture of everything and putting it up online. Look at me, I'm doing this. Oh, look at this. This is what I had, But I just feel like photography can be so much more, so much more. When I think about what photography means to me, a quote from one of my favorite movies comes to mind. It's Gladiator, starring Russell Crowe. And it's the scene where Proximo, actor Oliver Reed, is talking to Maximus, trying to convince him to leave him behind and go on and fight the good fight. And he says to him, "We mortals are but shadows and dust, Maximus, shadows and dust." Meaning, go out there, seize the day while you can, while you have breath in your body, and do something worthwhile, And that line has really stuck to me over the years regarding the philosophy of my life, especially my photography. We're not going to be here forever. We're not. But while we're here walking this beautiful earth, photography is a great way to tell our stories for future generations in our own unique perspectives. Photography can tell stories about cultures, history, communities. It can speak for those who are no longer here to speak for themselves, shadows and dust. This is why I have such a great passion for photographing beautiful abandoned houses. Many of them are from the Victorian age and have such beautiful architecture and craftsmanship and design details. They just don't make them like that anymore. Everybody wants the cookie cutter houses, instant presto change-o, put them up. To each his own, but I prefer a nice older house. And I hope to document them for future generations and hopefully shine light on the blight so that someone may take notice and maybe one day want to come and, fix them up and bring them back. It's one of my greatest passions. Right now, I'd like to talk a little bit about my process, the process. Since the neighborhoods I go shoot abandoned buildings that are usually kind of sketchy, so I prefer to get up early in the morning, when it's quiet and people are still asleep and nobody's milling about. A sunny day, a bright day, I go out early, I take pictures. And even an overcast day is good because you can get the moody shots. People like that. I like it too, But there are occasions when it's in the middle of the day, lots of people are outside going about their daily lives like me, and I may spot a beautiful house and it might grab my attention. I say, well, hey, I'll take the shot. And, since I'm really not from Petersburg, sometimes I like to go the road less traveled. I'll veer a street I've never been down, and I might see a house. But there may be a lot of people milling about. So what I like to deploy is a method I call snap and dash. Get out the car, I take a couple of pics, then I'm out of there. I'm a lone wolf when I'm out there. I'm usually by myself. So I have to be careful. I can't do the long photo shoots like I do in the mornings, like I'm a tourist looking at the Eiffel Tower. I can't do that. So, and my process on choosing which houses to photograph absolutely begins with me snapping houses that speak to me, that grab my attention. I passed on taking pictures of many houses because I just didn't feel anything. But years ago, when I first started out taking pictures, I reached out to a friend of mine. She's a more experienced photographer who also shoots abandoned buildings, abandonment, urban exploration. I said, Michelle, what should I be doing? I really don't know what to do. And she gave me this piece of sage advice that I have stayed with me and guided me. She said, Sharon, you should always shoot from the heart. Snap what feels right to you. Don't worry about whether anyone else gets it. Just speak your truth with your photos. And her words have stuck with me ever since. And that's how I'm guided to do what I do. And I've learned not everything is going to resonate with everybody. Everybody's not going to like what you do. But to me, my philosophy is, if I can reach one person, if I can make one person see what I see, feel what I feel, then my mission is accomplished. I'm a happy camper. So that's my philosophy on why I do what I do and how I do what I do. Sometimes I wonder where my love of abandoned houses came from. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure it started in Newark, New Jersey. There was so much wrong with my city while I was growing up in Newark. You could say from our statistics on high poverty, high crime rates, a lot of abandonment, just it was rough. And although I saw the ugly every single day I left my house, I chose to see the beauty there as well. I especially in the urban decay, the abandoned houses, you just have to change your mindset to want more, to do more. And this is the historic Kruger Scott Mansion in Newark, New Jersey. It was built around 1888. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. I attended a private school that was directly across the street from this beautiful mansion for kindergarten and first grade, my formative years, if you will. And I used to look at this beautiful tower, and in my child's mind and heart, I thought a princess lived there. It was just so magical to me. That's why I named it Rapunzel. And over time, it changed hands many times over the years, and then it became abandoned and it fell into ruin. It just broke my heart as I continued to grow up and saw it But finally, after all these many years later, it is currently undergoing a $10 million restoration project. Such wonderful news. I was overjoyed when I heard the news. So who knows? Perhaps this beautiful gem imprinted on me at an early age and led me to love abandoned houses as much as, and Victorian architecture as much as I do. I love this house. This is another house that's in my hometown of Newark, New Jersey. I entitled, I See a Red Door, but I don't want to paint it black. I want it to stay just the way it is. I use a lot of song lyrics as caption for my pictures. I love music and it resonates with people. Everybody knows, different songs. But this place, I love it, and it was one of the last few remaining standing in pretty good condition Victorians that was in downtown Newark, because downtown Newark has been revitalized now. They've wiped everything away and built up a lot of new stuff. But look at this house, look at the details. Like I said, they just don't make them like this anyway. And you want to know how I knew it was demolished? I went to Jersey to visit my mother maybe 2 years ago. And when I take a picture of a house and I fall in love with the house, I like to go revisit. Because no matter how many times you snap a house or a picture of anything, You're gonna see something different each and every time. So, okay, I'm going to go see the house. And I'm driving and I can't find the house. So I'm circling the block. I'm like, do I have the wrong street? It hasn't been that long. And the only reason why I knew that this house was gone because all I saw was this industrial building with this piece of graffiti here and just an empty lot. It's gone, wiped away. You know, that's why it's so important to take a picture when you see something that moves you. It could be here today and gone tomorrow. I mourn the loss of this house. I love this house so much, it's the screensaver on my cell phone, the doors. And I just loved it. It's just sad, it's sad. Oh, Camden. Well. I said earlier, I like to get up and go shoot early in the mornings when people are, you know, it's quiet, people aren't milling about. But the day I went to Camden to take this picture, I did have a companion with me at the time. Well, we got down there late. It was like after 12. Well, I'm in the, not this house, but I'm in the back of a house. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm taking shots and I'm lining up the shots. It was corner property. Like I'm looking at the Eiffel Tower. All of a sudden, from around the corner in front of the house, these two guys came out. Black hoodies, bandanas across their face, two bulges in their pockets, and they're standing like this. Oh my God, I'm taking a picture of a drug stash house. Well, thank goodness my companion, he speaks hood. I'm from the hood, but I don't speak it very well. But he spoke it very well. And he was able to speak to them, and he gave them the story that I was an investor and we're looking at properties so we can flip houses. And they got relaxed and they pulled the bandanas back down and they said, well, we thought you was the law. You know, I never went back to Camden after that. I heard of suffering for your art, but I ain't willing to suffer like that. I don't know when my luck gonna run out. So that's why I go early in the morning. So that's a little of how I got started and the few things that went on when I was, you know, getting started up in Newark. And then we moved down here to the Petersburg area. This beautiful house, I love it. It sits on a corner and is surrounded by 4 other forgotten, abandoned, beautiful houses. There were 5, but I drove by Monday and one of them has been demolished. Oh. It's such a grand house to me. You know, that wraparound porch, the lines. I often imagine that, you know, back in days gone by, a family sitting out there, sipping sweet tea, talking about the day's events, you know, just enjoying a warm summer breeze. I hope she gets the tender love and care she deserves because it's really a beautiful house. I go and see it all the time. And this is the house that was demolished. It sat around the corner from the one we just saw. Wiped from the face of the earth. When I saw that this house was no longer there, I pulled over, I got out of my car, and I just couldn't believe it. The only thing left to let you know that this place was there is just a remnant of this walkway, a little piece of this walkway, a pathway leading to nowhere. I got out the car, I stood there staring at that little patch of walkway, and all I could think about was all the memories this house had are now silenced. All the stories this house could tell are now gone. And I basically gave my memory of the house a moment of silence, paid my respects, so to speak, and got back in my car. This house was very special to me. I knew it couldn't be saved, but it still hurt nonetheless. This is why I do what I do. These places should be loved. They should be remembered. They should be saved. And once again, you better snap them when you see them. There's shadows and dust. Shadows and dust. I love this one. Sometimes the houses that I photograph sink deep into my soul. It's a feeling I can't quite explain. It's more like a mixture of pleasant thoughts and feelings, imagining the stories the house could tell. And this is one of those houses for me. Although I love all Victorian era architecture, this style, Second Empire, just appeals to me so much. It's just magical. You've got the wrought iron, the doors, the windows, the intricate details. I just love it. And who doesn't love little pink houses, you know, like John Cougar Mellencamp. Well, he likes to be called John Mellencamp now, so I love it. I love it. I call this one Nights on White Satin. This is another gem that has managed to sink into my soul. So very lovely. I mean, look at the intricate details. I love it. At one point, maybe a year or so ago, I saw signs of renovations going on. I saw a light on one night. I saw paint buckets and ladders and stuff, and I was like, oh wow, they're gonna save this puppy, wonderful. But then everything stopped. I don't know what happened, but I really wish someone, whoever has it, would start it, you know, get back on it and save this gem. And it sits all alone with 2 empty lots on the side of it. I love this house. I love it. Love it. I have a dream. I am absolutely smitten with this forgotten gem. Yet another Petersburg fave of mine that is very near and dear to my heart. I've snapped it a few times, and I go back to visit quite often because it gives me peaceful vibes and it feels like home. It sits back from the curb. It sits back a while. It's a big yard, and on either side, whoever lived here at some point must have had lovely flower gardens because they come up every year, and it just gives me a warm feeling. But little did I know, when I first snapped it, this was the house that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. used to stay at when he visited the Petersburg area, which was quite often. And for his safety when he would come here during the Civil Rights era. And what really blew my mind is when I learned that this house was also used as a stop on the Underground Railroad. Huh? Talk about history. I can imagine, I like to imagine, Dr. King sitting in the parlor, you know, putting together a speech, or talking with his friends to strategize on ways to make our country better. I get choked up thinking about it, you know, and maybe that's why I was initially drawn to the house before I found out, because there's so much history, so many powerful moments were made in this very house, and now it just sits alone. No markers and anything. I love it. It's very dear to me. And now this house, I love this house. It sits directly across from Patton Park in the back of VSU down that way. And I love it. To me, it's a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll because you've got that tin roof and that lovely rust and patina. And then it's like it's sitting on a duplex. I've never seen this combination before, and those windows are crazy. I'm telling you, I love them. And this is what I mean by a picture can be so much more for symbolism. You have the faded railroad crossing signs at the bottom, wrong side of the tracks.
Yes.
You know, but it's a powerful statement to me. It's a powerful image, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Ooh.
I like that.
I often get asked, oh Sharon, have you ever seen a ghost? You know, have you ever seen anything scary when you go shoot a picture? Well, not so much down here in Virginia, but in New Jersey, there's been times when I've taken pictures of houses and it gives me the heebie-jeebies. But this house here, this thing definitely got the hairs on the back of my neck to rise. Prior to taking this shot, like I said, I revisit and I reshoot. I've taken a lot of shots of the entire house, but always from a distance. But this particular day, oh, I'm going to take a picture of the door. I'm going to take a picture close up on those steps and that beautiful light fixture.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting closer, and all of a sudden I felt a cold air. And now this is a Virginia summer. You know how Virginia summers are. But this cold air just enveloped me. And the closer I got, just the feeling of dark dread just came over me. I said, wait. I took a couple of snaps and I got out of Dodge.
Yeah.
I never went back. Now, since this picture, the place has been beautifully renovated.
Oh, my
New
goodness.
siding, new windows, the yard is lovely. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. But I'm not going back there to do a before and after. You can slap all the paint on it you want and all the tiles, but the ghosts don't care. They just get more comfortable. No. I'm not going back. Here's another sad example of the urban decay that plagues Petersburg. This house especially appeals to me, again, for its symbolism. This was once someone's home. It was once their pride and joy.
Yes.
Children played here, and the house extends all the way back on the side, and they have a big yard. And now it's just sitting, boarded up and shuttered up. It's as if it's been silenced and hidden away, and its memories and stories of family life are being forgotten. Again, as I said earlier, photos can sometimes speak for those who are no longer to speak for themselves. When I first saw this house, how powerful it was, I said to myself, I'm going to take a picture of this house. I'm going to let this house speak. I want this house to be heard. And that's what I did. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. All those memories are just gone. Now, you may have seen this building. This was Seaboard. I think maybe they were like a contractor supply company. They're not here anymore. I think they moved someplace else. But I have a thing for old brick buildings, rusty fire escapes, and faded ghost signs. I don't see too many fire escapes down here. There's a lot in Newark, New York area. But I hit the trifecta with this place. I love it. I learned that Petersburg has a rich industrial past with retail and industry, and that it prospered here till about the early 80s, mid 80s. And and then the businesses left, jobs left, people left, and progress began to slow down in Petersburg. But the same story was true for my hometown in Newark, New Jersey, and many other cities across America. But the good news is, many cities are making strides with revitalization, including Petersburg. I just saw an article, they're going to be building some new confabulation on South Sycamore, up at the site of an old hospital. Oh, it's going to be fabulous. And I was told that plans are in the works to renovate this beautiful building, turn it into loft apartments and shops. And someone sent me some renderings of it, and it's going to be gorgeous. So keep your fingers crossed that comes to fruition. It's a beautiful building, and I hope they retain most of that brick like that. I love natural brick. As much as I love an abandoned building, I don't want them to stay abandoned. I want to see a city reborn. As I'm sure you already know, Petersburg often gets a bad rap as a city. But I'm here to tell you, from what I've seen and what I've heard, there's still hope. Besides running around town taking pictures of old Victorian houses, I also sew, and the things that I sew, ta-da, I sell at the Petersburg Farmers Market. And I also give out free books to the kids, for free, because when I was a kid, books helped me. They let me know that there was a different world outside of what was going on in my town. And I said, okay, came down here, and now that I'm at the farmer's market, I said there's a good opportunity to give books to the kids so that they can dream mighty dreams and want to do better and want to find out a different world like I did. But I digress. When the parents come over and I'm giving the books, I'm talking to people, I'm talking to Petersburg residents, and they have so much pride, they have so much joy, and they keep saying, well, I just wish Petersburg could turn around. I just, just wish it would turn around. And although I'm not a lifelong Petersburg resident, I have great dreams for Petersburg as well. I mean, over the last 10 to 15 years back in Newark, they had a revitalization. They had similar problems as Petersburg, but they turned it around. There's an influx of new businesses, there's a new sports arena, Audible is there, Amazon. It's just wonderful. And everyone loves a good comeback story, right? So
Yes.
I think Petersburg can do it. I see the same things going on in Petersburg as I'm driving about. I see new construction, I see a lot of renovation. I'm hopeful. This is the Battersea Villa Plantation Foundation, whatever you want to call it. Back in November, I was invited to a private event to tour this historic Battersea estate. It's also on the National Register. And they have done such a wonderful job restoring this villa. It's one of the finest surviving examples of Palladian architecture in America. I love it. It's just so beautiful. And now I read it's open to the public for public tours. And I highly recommend you go check it out. It's so gorgeous if you're into that sort of thing. But I imagine you are because you're sitting here. So check it out. It's simply lovely. They have the period furniture and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Here's another example of revitalization in Petersburg. This house is owned by Linda and Dale Pittman and is currently being renovated. In fact, they own 3 properties, all in a row, all on 10th Street. In January of last year, Linda Pittman not only invited me to tour this house, but also the other abandoned one next to it, that they also own and are restoring. But the cherry on the top to me, she invited me to tour the other property, which is the delightfully restored Strawberry Hill Mansion. Absolutely gorgeous. The tapestry, the paintings, the beds, the furniture, it's just gorgeous. And I am so thankful to Linda for giving me the opportunity to view all 3 properties, because I usually take pictures from the street, from the curb. And a few I've been inside, but not too many of the houses I take pictures of I've been inside. So it was good for me to see what goes on. And this picture to me symbolizes a light at the end of the tunnel, meaning a light, hope, and a new beginning for this house as well as Petersburg. And I hope that others will be like Dale and Linda and buy these places and restore them back and bring Petersburg back. That's just how I feel. I lovingly nicknamed this house the House of Wacky Doors, because I'm like, where are all these doors going? But this is the before and after. I've snapped this blue beauty on numerous times in its prior condition. But as you can see, it's being lovingly restored now to its former beauty. Yay! I love this house. Sometimes when I'm riding around to take pictures of houses, I'll record, so my people could see what, the house or what's going on. And I hadn't been in a while, so I'm used to seeing it look like this. But when I drove around that corner and saw the stuff going on, I was hooping and hollering. It's all over. I was just ecstatic, and I still am. This is what I want for Petersburg. This is what I want for Petersburg, and I honestly believe it could happen. All these places in Petersburg that I have shown you today have all weathered the ravages of time, yet they're still strong, they're still standing, still holding on, and it's a great source of inspiration to me from my rough beginnings to where I am today. Everybody loves a comeback story.
Yes.
Stand strong, hold on, there is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So in closing, this has been a little peek inside the mind, heart, and soul of me and my photography. But what's inside of you? What does photography mean to you? I remember at the beginning of the talk when I asked you who had a cell phone. Well, every picture I've shown you today, every picture on that table, every picture on my Instagram, Facebook, my exhibits that I sell, all were taken with the cell phone.
Yes.
Each of you has in your hand the piece of technology that enables you to photograph the things that you love and that speak to you. Things that may sink into your very soul and become near and dear to you. But remember, it's okay to take a picture of a flower. It's okay to take a picture of your meal. But don't forget to enjoy that meal. Just don't take a picture of it and throw it up on the internet and keep it moving. Take the time to enjoy the experience of whatever you're doing, whatever you're taking a picture of. So that when someone asks you about that picture, you'll be able to say how it made you feel, what it means to you. Do something worthwhile with your time while you're doing this. I'm reminded of a story of a father whose son was playing in a high school basketball game. So the kid, gets the winning shot. So afterward, the father goes, "Oh, son, I'm so proud of you. Dad, did you take a picture? Did you take any video?" "No, son, I was so busy watching. I'm so proud of you." "But Dad, you didn't take any video? What am I going to put on Instagram?" He was so worried about what he could put up on the TikTok and the Instagram, he totally missed the moment that he got the winning shot.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you today is, savor all the nuances, tell your stories, shoot from your heart. Seize the day. A photo can be so much more. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate your interest. I do have a few minutes. If anyone has any questions or want to talk about it, because I can talk about it forever, but they only gave me an hour. So there's contact information over there for me. I was one of the Progress Index's newsmaker of the year for last year. The article is there if you want to look through it. And there's some photos there if you want to look. So I appreciate your time. This is my
Thank you
first
so much.
time ever doing this. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Beautiful photographs with the light and everything. That's what I'm looking at is the light, because I paint, and I'm looking at the clouds and the backgrounds and all the colors, like the one that you said was kind of creepy, the porch.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I could see greens and yellows and
That's
all
how I
these
see
different
it.
colors.
That's how I
Beautiful.
like to get a lot of nature in my shots as well, to show
Mhm.
not just the depth of the house, but there's still life around it.
Yes.
That's what I like.
Nature taking over. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think you need to go back to this spooky house.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go back. We like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do it.
Ready?
Okay.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming
Thank you for
out.
sharing with us.
Oh, here we go.
There you go. Oh, sorry.
Have a good
Whoa,
weekend.
back up.
I went too far?
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed it, did.
Whoa,
Yeah.
That
stop. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got pink, you've got
Yes.
greens, you've got different shades of blues and grays,
I love it.
and the light, like the walls and the floor are just glowing. So
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That would make a cool painting.
When I edit my pictures, I always try to put life back into them.
Yeah, and you
show their form of beauty.
and you can do that with your phone too. You
Right.
can brighten it and lighten it.
Right.
But I didn't see from there. I couldn't see the no trespassing sign. And that's kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't
And
see that either.
it's an 18, but I would make it a 13. But I mean, the green,
Yeah.
like
thank
on the
you.
side of stuff is
I mean, it's a little faded here.
that
on
one
the
just
screen.
gets me with the details, because I mean, you could just look at it for a long time and go, ooh, look at that. Look.
You could go.
So, yeah, that's
you
my
could go
favorite
to
one.
my Instagram or my Facebook, and then you can see it, or you could look at it right here, right quick. But yeah, I love what I do.